and Tourism Show on Star FM.
Good evening and welcome to the Travel and Tourism Show, the show that brings you information on places to travel and how to travel, as well as what to do and how to do it. Aside from giving you tips, we also look at various issues in the travel and tourism industry. We are rocking October. #Rocktober. Star FM sounding good all the time. Our main issue tonight is the issue of poaching in the country. If you've been following the news, you will have heard that last week we lost 13 elephants that were poisoned in Hwange. We have in the studio tonight Tinashe Farawo, the National Parks and Wildlife Management Public Relations Manager. Tinashe, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good evening, listeners.
Perhaps just so we understand, tourism is one of the country's biggest income earners in this country, contributing up to $1 billion in the country's GDP. That being said, the country prides itself in the Big Five and our wildlife. Last week, we spoke to Mr. Fundira, the president of the Safari Operators Association of Zimbabwe, and he mentioned that poaching has become an international hazard. Be part of our conversation tonight as we speak to Tinashe. Our WhatsApp platform number for the show is 263-734-610-613. Tinashe, just as we begin, perhaps tell us, why is poaching such a problem?
Thank you, Mazwi. You need to appreciate the fact that poaching is not only a Zimbabwean issue, but poaching is a global issue, which is earning between 23 and 47 billion annually. So you would say that it's highly lucrative business, which is attractive to suspected poachers. It's big business globally. How
many cases of poaching have we reported or have been reported this year?
This year we have reported a marked decrease from the previous years. I can tell you maybe in 2013 alone, a total number of 293 elephants were killed during this poisoning, during these poaching syndicates, and as compared to last year, we have lost about 157, which is a marked decrease indeed of these elephants. Especially poaching is rampant, especially in areas surrounding our national parks. We don't really record much cases in protected areas, which are our national parks, but in most cases they are occurring in areas surrounding the parks, the protected areas. If you look at the incident which you have referred last week, where we lost 13 elephants to suspected poisoning, you'd see that it happened outside the protected area. It happened in Hwange Road District Council, which is adjacent to the protected area.
Okay, are elephants the only target for poaching?
It's not only elephants. Other animals are also victims of this poaching, or these poaching syndicates. But because of the attractive nature of the elephant tusks, that's why it is becoming more of a target. But you'd see when they use such lethal means of like cyanide, it's not only elephants which will be affected. There are also vultures which feed on the dead elephants. There are also hyenas. Like in this case, I think this year we have lost about at least 21 vultures which feeds on these dead elephants, the carcasses. So you'd see that it's not only elephants which are affected, especially by cyanide poisoning. There are also other animals which are also affected during these poaching activities.
We may talk of animals only, but are people within those communities also affected by the cyanide poisoning of the water?
You also need to know that apart from elephants being affected, there's also environmental degradation. That happens. The vegetation will be destroyed. The other animals which feeds on the ecosystem naturally will be affected. That's why if you see after these incidences, most of what normally happens after the incidents, we burn the carcasses. We also make sure that we detoxicate through other government agencies like the Environmental Management Agency.
Okay, so these are the long-term effects on the environment, isn't it?
Yes.
What about people within those particular areas? Are they being affected?
Like I said, most of these are poisoning of elephants. It happens just in areas which are adjacent to our protected areas, and in most cases, apart from the destruction of the environment, it also affects other animals which feeds on those watering holes, which feeds on water, because that's why we are saying our other government agencies, we work with them to make sure that we detoxicate the areas.
Okay, which areas are prone to poaching? You're talking about protected areas. Which areas exactly are prone to poaching?
Most areas which are prone to poaching are those areas which are adjacent to our protected areas. Like the example that I've given, the incident which happened in Hwange last week, where the Hwange Road District Council, which is adjacent to the protected area. But the most important thing that we are trying to do as an authority is to make sure that we work together with the councillors, work together with the communities which live adjacent to the communities, so that at least together we can fight this menace. I'm positive that we are going to win this war, because despite the financial challenges that we have recorded a number of successes, where the case that we have referred to, where 13 elephants were killed, to at least 2 people have been arrested, and those are the issues that we are dealing with. If you look maybe from January up to now, about if you look at people who have been arrested, not only, in some of them they've been imprisoned. Like I think a fortnight ago, a Hwange man was sentenced to 10 years in prison after he was found in possession with elephant tusks. So we are saying, the message that we are sending is poaching is a crime. It attracts a minimum sentence of 10 years if you are convicted. So the communities, us as the authority, other government agencies, we need to continue working together to ensure that at least we score some victory against poaching, because this is our wildlife heritage, this is our legacy together. We also need to ensure that at least the next generation after us will enjoy seeing these elephants, not only these elephants but the wildlife heritage that we have in this country.
You mentioned community engagement in the fight against poaching. Just tell me, what do you expect the community to do? How do you expect them to join you in the fight against poaching?
The communities are informants. They are the people who are living with the animals that we are talking about. They are the people who know what is happening around them. So we are saying to them, these are our animals, these are state properties. If they see anything which is amiss within the environments, they must report to the national parks offices, which are all over the country, especially in those areas, so that action will be taken. We cannot operate in isolation. We need to ensure that the communities, they know the benefits which is associated with these elephants, because they are elephants. We are aware that there are also programs like Campfire, where as communities, through rural district councils and other in groups, they can also benefit through a campfire program, getting hunting quotas, so that at least at the end of the day they feel that this is their property, this is their animals, and they need to be part and parcel of this fight, so that they also benefit from the sales of these elephants. And at the end of the day, everyone is happy. We are protecting our environment, we are protecting our animals. The communities, they also feel that this is our product, they must protect it. And if ever they see anything amiss which is happening, they will report to us, and people will be arrested. The law will take its course, and we are, as an authority, we are happy because our other government agencies, they're also working hard to ensure that if people are arrested, they go to court. The cases, they are expeditiously dealt with, like the case that I referred to. I think within a week of arrest, the person was already convicted. This is the mandate that we have as an authority. This is the vision that our Director General, the new Director General, has, to ensure that at least we fight this menace.
Tinashe, I liked what you talked about when you were saying that these are the benefits that the community, or the community needs to know that they have benefits. Can you break down just one or two of these benefits so that they understand? Because sometimes when you don't really know why you're doing something, it's very hard for you to engage and help out within that particular area. So what benefits, can you name some tangible things?
Like I said earlier, what happens is the communities through the rural district councils, through traditional leaders, we give out what we call hunting quotas, where the hunters will come, they hunt for trophies, and the money is plowed back into the community. Schools are built, roads are constructed, jobs are created, people benefit, real tangible things where people benefit from the animals. If, for example, a hunting quota is issued out, when schools are built, people, they see tangible things and they feel they are part of it. If schools are built, if roads are constructed, if jobs are created, their children are employed in those communities, either as rangers, as guides, and all other employment opportunities which are associated with this business of hunting. So it means communities become part and parcel of this fight, because they will be convinced that this is our animals, we must protect them. But however, we are facing this poaching problem is really a threat to us. And if you look at it, I can give you as an example for Hwange National Park. Hwange National Park has a carrying capacity of 40,000 elephants, but currently we are sitting on more than 45,000. These things, the elephant population in that area, it has become a major threat to not only to the human-wildlife conflict, but also to the vegetation, but also to other species and obviously water resources that are there. In Hwange, for example, it runs 100% on bore water. And it puts a strain on the resources that we are investing in there. But the major challenge now then is we survive 100% through our commercial activities, like the mention of the animal sales that I've mentioned, the hunting quotas that we give out to hunters for trophy hunting. But the major threat is the criticism, the threats that comes from other quotas, where we are not allowed to sell our ivory, where we are not allowed. But these are the challenges. But if you get that money, we make sure that the money is plowed back into the community, jobs are created, we sustainably conserve our environment, and everyone is happy. We have a win-win situation.
Okay, so are these locals? Are locals the ones who are poaching?
It's not only locals. Like maybe from January up to September, we about 388 locals were arrested, and I'm not mentioning the 30 which were arrested in the last 2 weeks or so. But these are the 388 locals which have been arrested between January and September, and about 20 foreigners were arrested during this period. Of the 20, some were convicted, some, it all depends with the case. But mostly they are locals, but also there are also foreign syndicates which are working with the locals in this in poaching. We have also made a lot of recoveries, because of the resources that I've said we are lacking. We, as an authority, we also need vehicles for patrols. We also need to improve our information technology system, so that at least we can track and we can know what is happening in the whole area of the park. But because of the increase in elephant population in Hwange, the environment becomes difficult to sustain the environment. But those are the issues that we are looking at. That's why we are emphasizing on the issue of working with the communities, because those are the people who knows what is happening in their locality. On the issue of the same poaching that the problem that we are facing, we have made a lot of recoveries in terms of rifles which are used, in terms of elephant tusks which we recover during our operations. And unfortunately, in these conducts, we have also lost lives, especially the suspected poachers. During that same period, I can tell you for a fact that of those who have lost their lives, we have about 7 people have killed, have lost their lives. It's unfortunate. We don't normally want people to lose their lives unnecessarily, but we were left with no option but to resort to lethal means. And of those 7, about 2 of them they were foreigners. So these are the challenges that we are facing. But because of the resources that we are facing, we normally fall short of our budgets, a budget deficit because of the lack of resources. But we are doing everything in our powers to make sure that at least we protect this important wildlife heritage that we have.
Okay, we are Star FM, sounding good all the time. This is the Travel and Tourism Show, and we are speaking to Tinashe Farawo, the National Parks and Wildlife Management Public Relations Manager. And tonight we are talking about poaching. Tinashe, earlier on we talked about the sophisticated methods of poaching that is being used now, and you highlighted the effects that has on the environment. How is national parks reacting to this threat?
Like we like I said, we keep working with the communities because these are the people who know what is happening in their localities. We are also calling upon individuals, businesses, corporates to come and work with us to protect and preserve our environment. We are looking at things like maybe, for example, vehicles for patrols, improve our information technology system. So that at least we know exactly what is happening in our parks. We know who is doing what, where, how, so that it becomes easier. Maybe probably by just a click of a button, you can cover the whole area of Hwange National Park, but that's our biggest national park in terms of size and also in terms of elephant population. So we are saying, let's work together. This is our treasure. Let's preserve it. Let's protect it for future use.
Okay, thank you very much, Tinashe. That's all we have for you tonight. Link up with me on the WhatsApp platform 263-734-610-613 or my Facebook page, Mazwi Shamu. It is the International Year of Sustainable Tourism. We must know poaching is a real threat and an international hazard. Stopping poaching is not just in the interest of animals. It's in the interest of us as well, especially when we talk about sustainability, as Tinashe Farawo was explaining throughout the show. Sustainability is actually defined as a requirement of our generation to manage the resource base such that the average quality of life that we ensure ourselves can potentially be shared by all future generations. So what we have today, we need to maintain that so that our future generations can also enjoy. Tinashe, any last words?
The last word that I have, let's protect our environment. Let's work together to preserve our wildlife heritage. It's not only for us as the authority, but it's for everyone. Every citizen is duty bound to ensure that he contributes to the protection and preservation of our wildlife. And lastly, this week, all roads lead to Kariba for our annual invitational tiger fishing tournament. So let's go to Kariba and enjoy ourselves.
Thank you very much, Tinashe. Thank you so much, listeners, for tuning in tonight. And until next time, happy traveling.
Thank you for tuning in to the Travel and Tourism Show on Star FM.